Hi, and welcome to my Timeless Tarot Messages from 5D, helping you better understand the reality we're going into. So today we are going to talk about relationships. We've got the Lovers card here, and the first thing that caught my eye was the snake on the tree, which reminds me of the story of Adam and Eve in paradise. The snake tempted Eve to take a bite out of the apple from the tree of knowledge, which they have been told not to eat from. And when she shared the apple with Adam and said, "Here, this tastes pretty good, have a bite," and he took a bite, they both got thrown out of the Garden of Eden. And Adam has resented Eve ever since. He blames her for decisions that she makes that are not perfect, and she has forever felt like she's not good enough. So there's where the problem started. Anytime you have resentment in relationships, it completely poisons the relationship. It kills the relationship. It kills the love between the lovers. So the first thing that has to go in 5D reality is the tendency to blame each other and to build up resentment towards the other. So instead of lovers, you become intimate enemies. That is no good. In 5D reality, the love has to be alive. It can't be disguised as love, and then in reality it's just resentment. Love has to be flowing between the partners. You can't afford to become intimate enemies. So that is the first thing that has to go in the new 5D mindset. Another thing that came out of the story of Adam and Eve in paradise is that Adam doesn't trust Eve anymore to make decisions for herself. So all of a sudden, as a couple, you have to make decisions as a couple. You no longer have the ability to think for yourself and to be independent and to say, this is what I want to do. No, you have to discuss it with your partner, and you have to make a decision as a couple. And if the partner doesn't agree with what you want to do, you most likely have to sacrifice that need or want. So sacrifice just means that you can't have what you want. And that builds up resentment over time, because if you were not in a couple, you would be doing those things that you want. What you want is a message from your higher self about something that you need to do. And when somebody that you're with is telling you that you can't have it or you can't do it, it's going to build up resentment. So instead of making decisions as a couple, in 5D consciousness, you have to be able to make decisions for yourself. Each one of you have to make decisions for yourself, because that is what two independent whole people would do. The other person isn't your better half. The other person is whole and you are whole, and when two wholes come together, they multiply and become more than they were before. So don't look for your other half. That concept is finished. It's as simple as that. The third thing that has to go, and you're not going to like this, is marriage. Now, in marriage, they bring in the law. The law is a third chakra entity that has to do with power. Now, why would you want to bring the law into matters of the heart? I have never understood that. Actually, I do understand it. It's because you don't trust love. Because love is unpredictable. Love can turn. But security lasts forever, even if you have to sacrifice the love that brought you together in the first place. Security seems to have more appeal than the flow of love. So you come together to get married, and you have all these vows that you promise each other. First of all, you can't keep these promises. You can't say, "I will always make you happy." Because if somebody doesn't want to be happy, you can't make them happy, and it's not your job anyway. You both have to make yourselves happy, because the other person is not your source. The only source of love that you can rely on that's always, always, always there is the connection between you and your source energy. The love from source is always flowing to you. But that's not what we want. We want the love to come from the other person. We want the other person to be our source of love, and the other person wants you to be the source of their love. That's conditional. That is conditional love. That means that you have to behave in a certain way to make your partner happy, and they have to behave in a certain way to make you happy. That is all conditional love. In 5D consciousness, we're dealing with unconditional love. Two people come together because their hearts are drawn to each other through passion, which we see here in the Queen of Wands. And you have to trust that that love will grow. If you don't restrict it, it will grow. It's only when you try to sacrifice it or stomp on it that you will kill the love that's there. If you allow love to be free, love grows. And you can count on it. And instead of being a couple, you have to see each other as independent partners in a partnership. Each one with their own opinions about things, each one with an ability to make decisions for themselves without having to ask your permission and see if it's okay with you first. All of this nonsense has to go. It's all part of some old system that really doesn't work anymore. When people came up with the idea of marriage so that the other person could be your source of happiness, that happened because they forgot their own connection to source. They forgot that the other person, their partner, is not the source of their happiness. So the whole concept of marriage is completely flawed from the 3D perspective. And Spirit told me that this kind of attitude really doesn't work anymore. It doesn't make anybody happy. It doesn't help people grow and expand. It doesn't make people able to follow their dreams and listen to their hearts and let their intuition talk them into doing things. No, they have to put all of that on the shelf and just listen to the partner. And if they don't agree, then that's just too bad. So if you want to get ready for 5D, can you let go of marriage? Can you trust the love that binds two people together and just allow it to be without trying to control it, without trying to make it permanent, without trying to control the other person and how they feel and think and what they do? Because that is what it takes. So what does marriage or partnership look like in the fifth dimension? I see it as two people coming together because they're drawn to each other, because they feel something. They feel like they can expand together. They feel like they can learn something together. They feel like the other person can inspire them to come out of their comfort zone and take risks and try new things. Are they worried about how long it's going to last? No, because they are allowing the experiences to just come naturally. And they know that no matter how long or how short the relationship lasts, they're going to be learning stuff and they're going to be expanding, and it's going to be worth it. Are they afraid to get hurt? Not necessarily, because if you can learn something, the experience was worth it. And if you feel hurt, if your feelings are hurt, you have to learn to deal with that on your own. That is not the other person's problem. There's a freedom in the fifth dimension that you can't even imagine in the third, where the whole purpose of you being there is to grow and expand. And if somebody or something is holding you back, you just leave it behind gracefully. You don't go to court and try to get alimony and child support. You just take your stuff and go. And because you love your kids, you both take care of the kids, so that the kids don't have to suffer. And there's no animosity. Why should there be animosity? Animosity and love does not live in the same reality. If there's animosity, there is no love. So, the biggest changes that we're going to see when we go into 5D is how we deal with relationships. It's never going to be the same as what we have now. It can't be. Because 5D is a place where you live without rules, without regulations, without people giving away their power to authorities. It's living in total freedom. And it's allowing the love to flow naturally. If something doesn't work, it has to go, even if you're really attached to it. So that was my message about relationships from the 5D perspective. A lot of people are not going to like this video or what was said in it, but that's okay. I'm just the messenger. So I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!